Have you ever, looked at a calendar, seen a deadline that's weeks away and thought to yourself, oh, I've got plenty of time, only to find yourself in a total, complete panic 12 hours before it's due? Well, if that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. Today we're going deep inside the mind of a master procrastinator to figure out what is really going on in there. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's a feeling so many of us know. You've got this huge, super important project, a long deadline, and your brain's immediate response is to do, well, absolutely nothing. So let's get into this story because it perfectly captures that downward spiral of putting things off. We're talking about a 90-page senior thesis, a project that takes a whole year, the kind of thing where you tell yourself, okay, this time it's going to be different.
And here you can just see that massive gap between what we plan to do and what actually happens. The plan, it starts out so nice and reasonable, right? Like a gentle slope. But the reality, it's just a flat line of nothing followed by a straight-up vertical wall of pure terror. And every revised plan is just kicking that can a little further down the road.
So get this, after an entire year of planning and then replanning those plans, the whole 90-page thesis was written in just 72 hours. That's 2 all-nighters, a mad dash across campus to turn it in. I mean, it's a true masterpiece of procrastination.
And here's the punchline. We all love that myth, right? The story of the brilliant procrastinator who pulls off a miracle at the very last second. But the reality was, it was a really, really bad paper. So if that last-minute panic doesn't actually produce good work, why on earth do we do it? Well, to figure that out, we've got to look inside the brain.
Okay, so the theory we're digging into here suggests that a procrastinator's brain isn't really different from anyone else's, not structurally. The real difference is all about who, or maybe what, is sitting in the driver's seat.
So here it is. This is the key difference. In a non-procrastinator's brain, you've got a rational decision maker at the wheel. Makes sense. But in the procrastinator's brain, there's a co-pilot, the instant gratification monkey. And trust me, that monkey changes everything.
Just think of this monkey as like your inner animal brain. It's designed for a much simpler world, Eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired, and do whatever feels good right now. It has zero concept of future consequences or long-term goals. The rational decision maker gets all that, but, well, he's not always the one holding the steering wheel.
And this is the battle that happens inside your head. Your rational decision maker is like, okay, time to get some work done. But the monkey just yanks the wheel and steers you straight into a YouTube rabbit hole, or a deep dive into some 90s celebrity scandal. Or maybe you just feel a sudden, urgent need to go see what's in the fridge for the 10th time. Sound familiar? So what happens when this system is just left to its own devices? When that monkey is in charge? It takes you to this very specific place, a place that looks like fun but feels like anything but. This is where all that guilt kicks in. It's not real leisure, right? Because hanging over every fun, easy thing you're doing is the crushing weight of what you should be doing. So the fun gets all tainted with anxiety. It's really the worst of both worlds. You're not being productive, but you're not actually relaxing either.
Which, of course, brings us to the most important question of all. If the monkey is always choosing what's easy and fun, and our rational decision maker keeps losing this fight, how does any work ever happen?
Okay, meet the procrastinator's secret weapon, the panic monster. This is the only thing that the instant gratification monkey is absolutely terrified of. It's just sleeping, most of the time, until the consequences of not doing the work become immediate and very, very real.
And this cycle, this is the whole chaotic system in action. A deadline pops up, the monkey immediately takes over, and for days or weeks, you're stuck in that dark playground. Then, just when it feels like all hope is lost, the panic monster wakes up. The monkey freaks out and runs for the hills, and suddenly, the rational decision maker has the steering wheel again, just in time for a frantic, caffeine-fueled all-night work session. Yeah, it's not pretty, but hey, it gets the job done.
But here's the thing. Here's the problem. That whole system, it only works under very specific conditions. It turns out there are 2 totally different kinds of procrastination, and one of them is way, way more dangerous than the other.
So, the first type is everything we've been talking about so far. Writing a thesis, getting a presentation ready, filing your taxes. There's a deadline. There are consequences. The panic monster will show up eventually.
But what about the second type? The kind of procrastination that has no deadline at all. What happens when there's no date on the calendar to wake up the panic monster? This, right here, is where the real trouble starts. And this is the real heart of the issue, you know? When there's no deadline, there is nothing to wake the panic monster up. The procrastination isn't contained to a few weeks. It can just stretch on forever. And just look at the kinds of things that fall into this category. I mean, these are some of the most important things in our lives. These are the goals that lead to long-term happiness. But without a hard deadline, the monkey can just keep saying, we'll do it tomorrow, day after day. And the panic monster never has a reason to show up and help.
And this is what happens. It's this quiet, kind of private suffering. The frustration isn't about failing to achieve a dream. It's about never even getting started in the first place. It's that feeling of just watching your own life go by while you're stuck, unable to begin the things that really, truly matter to you.
And that brings us to one last, really powerful way to think about all of this. It's a tool that can make the very abstract idea of your life feel a lot more real and a lot more finite.
I want you to imagine your entire life laid out like this. Every single box is 1 week. It's not that many boxes when you see it like that, is it? And the really sobering part is that every one of us has already filled in a whole bunch of them. Now, this isn't meant to be scary. It's just a powerful reminder of what's at stake when we let the monkey stay in charge of the important, deadline-free parts of our lives.
So the real question isn't just about that report you need to finish for work. It's about the bigger stuff, the things that don't have deadlines. Look, we all have an instant gratification monkey. The challenge is to become the kind of person who can take the wheel even when the panic monster is nowhere in sight. Because those are the moments that truly define a life.